Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, subscribe to this family-friendly channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name so you don't miss the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. In this video, it's Handmaid's Tale Season 5, Episode 3, entitled Border. I give a full episode recap with photos offset to the side, and then I give my review at the end. No need to dig around and keep all of the minute marks in the comments. It's all coming up next. It's a gloomy night. June and Moira can't figure out what Hannah had on, that color. It was different. What was she wearing? What does it mean? It was like a purple? It's a harsh reality she's not wearing pink anymore. She's not a child. Moira knows of a group of border women. They're great at getting messages to people inside. It's not official, though, and it's what she heard. June is upset that she didn't tell her a long time ago, but Moira has a reason why. The women are a bunch of traumatized refugees at a border, a group that June doesn't need to speak to, especially now. But Moira will arrange for them to go speak, but there's no men allowed. They meet with Lily as she's heard of June Osborne, and she thought that June would be taller. June wants to send a message to a commander in Boston. Gladly, she was able to get more messages there before the eyes busted her. She's one of the women they traded at Waterford. She doesn't know how she managed it, but there are also kids that go out. Mark views all of the flowers from some big names. The funeral arrangements for the Waterford ceremony is an apology for the unsuccessful transfer. Serena thinks that Mark is gathering information for the Canadians and Americans. But Mark counterspeaks that isn't she worried about her reputation? He'll be back later to escort her to Commander Lawrence. The ladies continue with Lily as they have to be careful so close to no man's land. They can get past Gilead's cell tower surveillance with a sat phone. It will take a while to get the message through down the chain to their guy. They have a board tracking the women they have been able to get out, and also the ones that they couldn't. Everyone working with Mayday knows the stakes. Mayday. Wait, you guys are in Mayday? Mayday's in Canada? Lily explains that Mayday is everywhere. There are several posts. Not knowing all of the posts keeps everything safe. Lily was a Martha. Mayday was something June thought they made up in order to get them through. This entire time, it was surely real. Lawrence meets with Serena and Mark, but Mark can't come in. Spies not allowed. Mark even jokes that maybe Lawrence can join in a chat later. They can have a lot to talk about. Commander Mackenzie greets Serena. They would have preferred a fair trial. He agrees with Serena that June was involved. There's not a way she could have done everything alone. Nick and his wife, Mrs. Blaine, arrive, and Serena is surprised to see him there. It's been a long time to see an old friend. Rose and Nick met a few months ago in D.C. Rose even gifts Serena with a knotted sweater. Lydia worries about Janine and Esther. When she sees Esther, she then seems angry and slaps her when she's comatose. When Lydia sees Janice, she prays that she doesn't deserve this. She didn't mean to be so hard on the girl. She was trying to keep them safe. She breaks down and cries and pleads that don't punish her, to just teach me a lesson. She will do things differently next time. She gets angry and loses her temper, but she'll do anything to just get a second chance and do things differently. I promise. Please. At dinner, Commander Lawrence reports that while reading some of the briefs, there were great feedback comments concerning the funeral broadcast. They should consider trial blooming a new export strategy to Europe. Commander Mackenzie wants Lawrence to not bore the ladies with such talk. They'll talk about it during their meeting tomorrow. Miss Mackenzie says that after he remarries, then he can bore his new wife at the table with all those concerns. And everyone agrees that a single man should not be in a place of power. Lawrence seems offended and does not wish to remarry. Mackenzie also thinks that it would be helpful if the Americans could extend their reach to their family when it comes to June. They thought that she would arrive to Toronto when things would calm down, but apparently not. They can't believe Agnes came from such a devil of a woman, but they don't want anything to happen to Agnes's birth mother. It could be traumatizing. Then again, Agnes is a strong and understanding young child. June Osborne is a cancer that must be cut out. Moira and June help sew maps discreetly in materials. They also send arsenic. Hopefully, it will get to a commander in D.C. There's a commotion outside, and it's a young man claiming to help, but he can't remember the code word or phrase. Gladly, the person he's helping arrives, saying the code, helping him. He can't stay. He has to go back to Gilead. He has a wife and kids to go back to. Nick goes to speak with Mark. He wants to tell June himself about Rose. Also, he can't help Mark. Mr. Mackenzie arrives and says that it's rude to leave Rose in the cold alone. Now he wants to speak with Nick without Mark's presence. He tells Nick that he knows Rose's father was an old friend. He hopes that this new power has nothing to do with her appeal for a young commander rising in the ranks. He's keeping an eye on Nick and treat Rose right. Serena states that Commander Lawrence's home must feel very alone since his wife passed. Fred should have never got her finger removed, he says. I think what he did might have been compensating for his toxic masculinity. Serena thinks that maybe it's a blessing he's not around to raise her son. Also, Mackenzie is right. An unmarried man has limited influence. Lawrence doesn't want to remarry for power. He assures that he will protect her and her child. Lydia continues to pray until Mrs. Putnam arrives. The doctors aren't too optimistic of the other girl's outcome. Mrs. Putnam allows the young girl to say hello to her mother, Janine. She lets her know that she will let her know where she got her beautiful smile from. Mark and Serena bring the day to a close. He studied Gilead and wasn't surprised at anything he saw. Serena wants to talk with Mark alone in her room. She tells him that she's at home and her place is there. She thanks him for all that he's done and gives him a passionate kiss on the cheek. Mark can't understand. If she stays, she'll be giving up her freedoms. Is she sure? Staying there would be a mistake. It's not safe for a woman there, especially single ones. She confirms that she's not planning to remarry. She's still in mourning. There's a knock on the door, and her presence is required at a commander meeting tomorrow morning. He's not sure who called the meeting to order, but he just came to deliver the message. Mark says goodbye to Serena and warns to stay safe. June finally gets a call from Nick. He didn't get to talk to Hannah, but knows that she's safe. He confirms the purple color is for a new school. They train for future wives. She's strong and the Mackenzies love her. He apologizes that he can't do more. He has new obligations now that he has a wife. Rose even knows about her. June reports that Nicole is well and to just be mindful of Commander Mackenzie. June wants Nick to just try to be happy. It's been a long night, and when Lydia wakes up, Janine isn't in her room. She woke up a few hours ago. Fresh air is helping. Lydia seems relieved, but Janine not so much. Serena sees Commander Lawrence and questions if he called the meeting. He seems different. He wants to know if she expected something of him, and she says no. And Commander Lawrence then says, "I'm sorry, Serena," before walking away. The council has given her future a great deal of consideration. They want to use her expertise. They want to expand the global presence and want her to act as a global ambassador, unofficially, of course. They want her in Toronto for the sake of their republic. They can't have unusual women like her living within their borders. Serena then requests a staff, a budget, and protection from those that may want to harm her and her baby. They guarantee that they will provide her request. Mark says that they told them to hold the plane. Did you have a change of heart? June feels that they're right back where they started. Moira reminds her that Hannah is strong and she won't be a wife. More bad news. June learns that Serena is headed back to Toronto. Serena then sees supporters that she calls God's people, people who see her have tears in her eyes. While driving, they can't go any further because there's one car parked in the opposite direction. June slams on the window, telling Serena twice, "Never touch my daughter again." And that is the end of the episode. And now it is time for your favorite part of the video. That's right, my review. So in this episode, Serena is learning again that no matter how much power she thinks that she has, there's still the rules and the regulations of Gilead. The rules and regulations that she helped to make. It's the emotional backing of you say one thing, but your experience and your emotions are another. And then to add the cherry on the top, we have Mark say, hey, they had us hold the plane. Is everything okay? Did you have a change of heart? He knows knows that Serena wants this leadership, that she wants this role of being able to make demands and making things happen from the beginning, since season 1. Serena has always had this leadership potential, but their concepts, her and Fred of Gilead, allow her to stay back 10 steps when it comes to the leadership of men. And no matter how hard she tries, no matter how much influence that she thinks that she has, she's constantly reminded you do not have those freedoms like everyone else. You claim that you want to stay here and make marks, but you can't. Gilead, as Commander Lawrence said, we can't have women, strange women like you in our borders, because what that will do is, history tells us, and this is beautiful writing, that anytime you have an influence of power, people that allow you to think and develop your own opinions, people who are very controlling and evil do not want that, because then people will start to realize that they're being manipulated. So they don't want an influx of a woman being a positive leadership role, because then it will affect the handmaids, and then it will affect the Marthas, and then it will affect the children and the preteens who are being taught to be a wife. So this is all a domino effect. They want her to just be in her reigns, be quiet, be a symbolism of some sort to the rest of the world. Now, when it comes to Mayday, as we all know it, we were trying to get an understanding of, was it a specific place? Was it a rumor? Was it real? And June understanding that it very much was real. And Lily telling her, look, whatever it took for you to believe and to press forward and to make things happen, then you are Mayday. Mayday is something very real, but if you don't believe in it, and if you want to make things happen, you're a part of that. So her learning that and being choked up about, wow, we didn't think it was real, and it was real, things really were moving. It's kind of like an epiphany of something real, and then also a slap in the face to intelligence. Like, come on, June, did you really think that you made this up yourself and you were that powerful that you alone made things happen? It's this selfish cycle again from June, thinking that she's doing everything on her own, not understanding the bigger picture. She's been able to get away with a lot of things, being very lucky. A lot of people have sacrificed a lot, and Lily being that kind of reminder that, you know, hey, I was a Martha and we did this and we did that. We have several posts. We can get things happen. We can translate messages. It's kind of like, duh, you know? So when it comes to Commander Mackenzie, we can already tell, we can already know for the rest of this season that he is one to be reckoned with. He already has this presence of danger. The fact that Nick and Mark were speaking alone and they didn't even hear him walk up. It's like, ooh, that's very dangerous. How much did he hear? How much has he heard in the past? And we also have to be worried about Rose. The fact that Commander Mackenzie knew her dad and that they were friends. Can she easily be swayed? Also, how much has Nick shared with Rose about June? Is he sharing things with Rose in a positive light, or is he sharing things about June to Rose as a degenerate? Is he saying to her, June is a terrible person, June is this and June is that, or has it been positive? We don't know. Can we trust Rose? We don't know. This season, we cannot trust anyone. As I mentioned in previous recap and review, that there can be triple spies with this. The fact that Commander Lawrence says that he wants to expand the trial ballooning to a new export strategy to Europe. Can we tap into Europe and see what their plans are? And is Europe so closed-lipped about it that they haven't been able to be penetrated by Gilead? I'm very, very excited to see how the other countries see Gilead. Are there any plans? Who are they talking to? Do they have current spies there? If so, who are they? I'm just very, very excited. I know they dropped several episodes at one time, and it's kind of like waiting every week. It's just so frustrating because I want to get so deep into this. There's this hope as the audience that you get tired of seeing the struggle. You get tired of seeing being so close and then something else pulling you, 10 steps backwards. You get very frustrated. But I really, really hope that they drive into what's next when it comes to other countries. It's kind of wearing, okay, we know about Canada, we know about the border, no man's land, and it's this slow crawl. So how many seasons will they do? Really curious to know. Let me know what you think. Like this video, subscribe. Also check out the recommended shows in the description box. Leave your comments below. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name. If you are too shy to leave a comment below, feel free to hit me a DM so so we can have some healthy debates about the show. I really love it. In the meantime, in between time, remember to stay tuned. The next episode is up next, episode 4.